And it's Saturday and we're here.
Hello, everybody. We are back after our summer holiday. Um, Hello and welcome to this episode of Women of Nerd Culture. We are the Women of Nerd Culture. My name is Sarah, and with me, as always, is the lovely Becca.
Hello.
This episode, we're going to have a chat about our experiences and favorite TTRPGs or tabletop role-playing games. Some are independent, some may not be, but there are some great games out there that are well worth trying. So whether you're a D&D pro, you're into paranoia, cyberpunk, steampunk, superheroes, hopefully you can appreciate some of the stories that we have for you and maybe even share or relate some of the experiences we've had playing. Um, so let's just dive straight in. It's been a while. So Becca,
Yes.
why don't we start with our first experiences of
Uh, see,
TTRPGs?
I am a baby. I am a baby compared to quite a lot of the community. I only got into Dungeons and Dragons, which is my first ever experience. I went straight to the hard stuff about 3 years ago. Um, I saw that there was a notice on the local Geek Retreat Facebook group saying, "Oh, we're going to be holding sessions in the day," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I am a parent. That is perfect." So I went along to the session and I met some fantastic people, and I created my first ever character, and she was a storm sorceress former soldier, and I love this character so much. I am so protective of her. It's unreal, and we had the most amazing session. I was very lucky that I had Nathan as a GM, and then every other week we then had Chris, and we were playing two different campaigns, two different characters. There was like no connection, but
Yeah.
my first ever game with Nathan was just utterly amazing. So we kind of started in the present time, in the D&D time, and
Mhm.
then we kind of went on a little bit of an adventure, and we got sent 10 years into the future by a Sphinx to find answers to why these gods that wanted to destroy the mortal plane, I think, wanted to return. And I'm really gutted because obviously we had to stop the campaign and I never got closure on these events. But it was such a good experience, and it's like one of those experiences that changes your life. I met some amazing people. I met Michael. I met Kat, who is amazing on our Discord, and
Mhm.
if you see her, you need to go say hello. And I met some. This is kind of, I feel like, probably my first nerdy friends in the Northeast, because I met them and then I met all of you guys, and it's kind of changed my life. And I am now 100% a dice goblin. I have dices.
Oh,
Just to get the ASMR in, there is my dices. I have got like a thing of dices with my little bunny mug right by my desk, and there are about probably about 50 other packs of dices around my house because they seem to breed like rabbits. It's unreal. But yeah, I had a very good experience coming in to tabletop games. I was very reluctant. I will say this. I can remember one of the players in Obsidian Fleet going, What do you mean you don't understand the dice?" I was like, "I don't understand the dice maths." I soon changed my tune, obviously, once I
yeah.
found a session that was compatible with me. But once upon a time, I was very reluctant and I didn't understand dice maths, which is probably the story of my life. But what about yourself, Sarah? Because obviously you've got lots of experience.
Oh, I've it comes with having a lot of close friends who like to tabletop game and a partner that does as well. I've been actually playing loads of different versions of a lot of different things, to be honest, for about 15 years now. Um, but I think from what you were saying there, I always thought that D&D was a good introduction.
Hmm.
And I'm really glad to see that a lot of places like Geek Retreat, like some of the gaming cafes that popped up, they were all kind of like running, as well as experienced campaigns, they were running campaigns for the brand new.
Yeah,
They were
and
running campaigns for the pre-teens.
yeah,
And I loved that.
yeah,
Um I can't wait till like my lot are a bit older and I'm considering running a short little campaign for them as well.
that'd
So
be amazing.
I think it'd be great. But yes, I mean, my first campaign was also D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Um, I can't remember which version it was, which edition it was, sorry.
Okay.
Uh, Whether it was like 3.5 or 4. I can't remember which one it was. But me and my partner had been were living with some housemates who was another couple like a good few years ago. And we shared an interest in video games, card games. We had a four-piece band on Band Hero. Um,
That's adorable.
we had a full band, we had a backstory and everything. But we've been wanting to try like D&D for a little while now. Um, so we all agreed to just kind of set it aside one night with a couple of beers and a pizza. And well, right. I don't remember her name, but my first character was a gnome wizard. Little tiny thing running around.
That's cool.
And yes, the barbarian did throw me at some point.
That is like a starter
That's
story for
it's an unwritten rule.
yeah,
It's an unwritten rule. If there's a dwarf or a gnome or a halfling on your in your campaign, the biggest character among you has to try and throw them somewhere at some point.
yeah.
I agreed to it, by the way.
I'm glad to
Not
hear.
everybody does. Not
Yeah.
everybody does, but I did. Um, Sorry, I've got a right really itchy nose tonight. Um, a lot of the campaign, sorry, that we played was a story that the GM, our friend, had made up. But using D&D monsters and like, their kind of uh dungeons and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, so something that I think stands out is you get a lot of teams that you call murder hobos, and it's
Yeah.
basically they go in and kill everything.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, their answer is the end of a sword
Yep, yep,
or,
yep.
or the other end of an arrow.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's what our GM was expecting. No, we went in and we made friends with the beholder. A beholder, for those who don't know, is like I've classed them as like Mike from Monsters Inc.,
Yeah.
but floating, has the one big eye and lots of tentacles coming out of its head.
Yeah. It's a good description.
Yeah. They just float there and yeah. We decided to not just dive in and fight it, but we asked it a question, what's your name? Perfectly good place to start.
Hmm.
And the DM didn't think that we'd approach it like that, so just turned around and went, damn it, I hadn't planned that. And due to that pause, we figured the beholder's name was Damn it.
Yeah.
And he became a regular in our group. He followed us round, he helped us in the campaign. He came back and I believe he ended up living with us at one point.
That's hilarious.
I even made a cake of him for
That's
the
the
GM's
I
birthday. That is the
remember.
cake.
Yeah.
The cake is Damn it.
Yeah, I
The
love
cake
it.
is Damn it. Um, but I think even from the first sessions, you can't plan for everything, and your group will do. In fact, you can guarantee they'll wander off, even when all signs point to the plot.
Yeah.
You just can't. And I mean, you don't have to be good at D&D games. If you've got a very understanding GM, they will help you every step of the way. I think D&D sheets, character sheets, can look intimidating,
Yeah, and I think that's very
but
much
I
what put me off.
yeah, but I think if you stick to the basics, there's a lot on there that you might not actually use for a very simple
Yeah.
campaign. If you just stick to the numbers and know, right, make a note next to it which dice you use for that, I think it becomes second nature
I had a
after a
whole
while.
system.
Yeah.
Used to have a piece of paper with all my spells wrote on and my dices laid on top of them. Kat and Michael can tell you this. I literally used to have like a desk, and I obviously this is very, very me ADHD. It was very, very ADHD friendly. I used to
Hmm.
have it literally laid out perfectly, so I knew exactly which dice and what I was doing and how much. Oh, it was perfect. I loved my little system I had, my little notes.
And that's it. You find your own way of doing
Yeah,
things. I mean, sometimes for ease, I mean, it depends on. if you've got an account or things like that. But there's things out there like Roll20, which is a
Yeah,
website where a GM can set up an account and they can use it to create maps online.
yeah,
You can have your whole battles on there. We used this a lot during lockdown,
yeah,
and especially for long-term campaigns, because um, one of our more recent DMs, um, who's also in the Facebook group, has some friends that were like down Nottingham way, Nottinghamshire, and we used to game with them every other week.
yeah.
And we never would have been able to game with those particular people if not for like the progression online.
That's something.
Um,
We had a player in Australia who used to join us from
yeah.
Australia. So she came to
Mhm.
Geek. She was Michael's. She's Michael's sister, and she came to Geek Retreat when she was over from Australia. And then when she went back, we still included her fairy,
Yeah.
her fairy bard. Is my favorite concept of a character. We still were able to use that character because we were able to play online. It's brilliant. I think the technology that we have nowadays has completely changed, and it has made it so
Mhm.
much easier for people like me because
Mhm.
I get very confused by the different shapes of the dice and I will have no idea. And I think that's very much what put me off for a while. And just
Mhm.
having like Damaplane and Roll20 has made it so much easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
And I mean,
has.
even the official D&D website has their own version of it as well.
Yeah.
Um, but there's many people have made versions of it for like pretty much every game that's out there. I mean, there's something about playing together around a table still, like with your mat and your pieces and your little figures that you might have painted yourself or made yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a big bowl of crisps in the middle of the table that everyone's just digging into while you're like trying to decide how to approach this dragon.
Yeah.
um, um, I've always said I'm not very creative, but I find that I can get in certain TTRPGs. So you
Mm.
don't have to be like have an amazing imagination or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's the GM's job to take you on the journey.
Yeah.
They are setting the scene.
Yeah.
You just think, well, my character has this, this, and this. You know, they're very self-assured. What would they do?
Yeah.
What equipment do I have? What abilities do I have available to me? Like
Yeah.
a ranger might have an owl familiar.
Yeah.
They could send the owl up to scout ahead or something like that to see if there's any enemies up front, or you know, maybe they could find some water or the next village or anything like that.
That's what I kind of liked about one of my character Camille, who I've used in a few different campaigns. Because she was a former sailor, they had to go on a boat, and
Mhm.
she literally, I spent a whole session just ordering the rest of the team around as if they were my crewmates, and that was one of my best sessions, and I absolutely thrived under that session, and I love Chris for the fact that he set that up, and I was allowed to just run and role play, and I was the captain, and I was
Yeah.
like, yes sir, no sir, and it was like random things that we had. I had some of the crew fell overboard, so I couldn't use a spell to get them back, but I could use 4 lights to put lights up in the
Mhm.
sky so I could search for them, and
Yeah.
things like that. And it was a very, very well set out game, and I think good D&D campaigns have to have a very good DM who has got that imagination, who is able to kind
Mhm.
of create that world, and it's fascinating. I don't know how they do it.
Sometimes you've just got to go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah,
You just kind of go, right, okay, then you've gone so far off the plot that I had for you. I'm just going to see where you go. What are you
yeah,
going to do? Um, I mean, I've been very lucky that I've been surrounded by people who have actually created their own games as well as writing their own stories for existing games.
yeah.
Um, for a few years, I used to go to something we call Nationals, which is a yearly TTRPG LARP board game event um,
Cool.
that the universities used to run. I mean, they
Okay.
still do. I'm saying that used to run. They still do. They run it around Easter time, and people from all over the country would go to one particular uni, and there was hundreds of us. and they would just have a great weekend, or they would game all day, go out for food, go to the bar, have a quiz, have a costume competitions and stuff like that on a night time. Um, and what they would do is people would sign up to be DMs or GMs, whatever you
Yeah.
want to be called, for lots of different type of games. It wasn't just D&D and it wasn't just Warhammer.
Yeah.
You would have a LARP game going, you would have somebody running Paranoia, you would have somebody um you'd have board gaming hall, that kind of thing. And the GM would award points to how well some people played with the went with the game, how involved they got. If they came up with a brilliant idea, they might get extra points. Um, and whoever at the end of it, from depending on which university you came from, say like people came from Sunderland University, if they got the most points, the next year Sunderland would host it.
Okay, I understand. That sounds so
So
cool.
yes, I've been to Glasgow, I've been to Leicester, I've been to Nottingham and Leeds,
That's so cool.
doing that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the group that I went with weren't actually part of university at the time, but we kind of provided 2/3 of the GMs. So we enabled the weekend to run,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
If we didn't go, they wouldn't be able to run as many games.
Yeah.
Um, and the understanding of that was there was me and like a couple of other people who weren't confident GMs, so we would go as players.
Yeah.
And because the whole weekend was actually raising money for charity as well, depending on which university you choose a different charity each year, if any of us won our category, we would auction our points off.
That's such a cool idea.
So so yeah, it's um
I've always wanted to go to like a professional event like that. I know
yeah.
they do D&D in a castle up here, and they do
Mhm.
I've seen it, they do D&D in the church in the
Mhm.
church tower, and I want to go to those events, but a lot of them are not parent friendly.
Yeah.
That is the biggest restriction on me. They are not parent friendly, and I am a solo
No.
parent, and
Yeah, the Nationals isn't very parent
yeah,
friendly because it's a lot of drunken like young adults, like
yeah,
of age because they're university age.
yeah,
But yes, youngish adults.
yeah,
But yeah, it's I've made friends that way. I've played games I wouldn't have normally played. I've been exposed to a load of different types of games there. Some even don't have systems. You just talk through what you would do. You don't have to roll dice or anything.
yeah.
And if the GM likes the idea that you're doing, they would just go with it. And they would that I think sometimes is more is for the more experienced GM because they can think on the spot and think, well, if this person's doing this, then I'm going to respond by doing this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that kind of thing.
But I
Um,
feel like that's very much in tune with what I do, because obviously
mhm,
I don't come from a gaming background. I come from
yeah,
a simming, a writing simulation background,
yeah,
and that's very much like what I do as a GM for those type of games. And that's why I think I was very put off, because I was like, I don't know if I could do the dice maths. I don't know if it would cross over. But I found that it did, and I'm thankful that I did take that leap, that very scary leap
yeah.
of going to Geek Retreat on a random Wednesday, to meet some people that I never met before to play
Yeah.
D&D.
And I would like to say as well, for like people in your position, you don't have to get put off by having to come and make a character either, because some GMs will provide you with a pre-gen
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
You just pick the one that you like the look
And
of.
I think
Um,
Chris does that quite a lot, for because he still runs the sessions on a Sunday at Sunderland Geek Retreat, and I know for a fact
yeah.
I've seen him provide like pre-made characters and stuff.
Hmm.
So I would highly recommend, if you've got any questions, just go into Geek Retreat on a Sunday and just asking, and just
Yeah.
seeing what the crack is. And because I don't know how Chris put up with all of us, because we are all a little bit neurodivergent, the group he had, and we were very good at probably disarraying his plans. But he is a very, very good GM, and I know he also runs games online. I might pop his link down below for anyone who is interested.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know that he does play with other groups, but I will definitely pop his links below so that you can see it, because he's probably one of the best DMs that I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I would love for people to more people to get into at least D&D.
Hmm.
Just we can.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, yeah, sorry, go on.
I just want more people to be dice goblins. I don't want to be alone.
Yes. The thing is, once you buy your first set of dice, you kind of start going, ooh, pretty click
And I've
clacks.
got an 8-year-old who's that now.
Um, but I just wanted to mention one of the more interesting ways I've experienced of generating a character was at nationals actually. Um, and it was it was a systemless game, but we obviously needed a character to still play.
Yeah,
He explained the scenario, the land where we were going to be playing, and we got to out of an envelope we drew our race.
that's so cool.
Out of the next envelope we drew our what we were, like knight, ranger, magician, that kind of thing. Out of the next, one of our strengths,
That's
so
so
our
cool.
highest stat. Out of the next, our lowest stat. So it could be you were a magician with incredibly high strength and very low wisdom, which wouldn't really work for a magician.
No.
And then there was like a quote about your character, so you could see how much variance there was.
Yeah,
He could play this game multiple times over and not have the same characters.
that's
And I just thought
amazing.
that was a really interesting way because I've never had it. I think this was in about my third year of going to the nationals as well. I just never had it happen that way before, and I thought, you know what, that's a really good way of doing that.
I've seen something similar to that. So that you get a blank sheet, and you basically develop the character as you go along. So say if you roll for initiative and the DM would be like, okay, that's 9, so that's a 2 plus, you'd be like, okay, so then you would write it down that way.
Hmm.
um or you'd go into a bar and the barman would go, oh, we don't see a dragonborn around these kinds. You'd realize that, oh, your character's a dragonborn.
Mm,
I've always found that, and I've actually seen this meme going around the last couple of days, and I was like, okay, I really want a game where that happens, just a random one
yeah.
shot where you kind of discover everything that happens. I think that would be such a good idea.
Hmm.
That would be such a good idea.
We could maybe try and make that happen.
Yes,
Gaming part two. Because I mean, you're currently playing Daggerheart with some of the nerds,
I
but
am, and
unfortunately,
it's
I couldn't commit to it this time.
because it was a
So
Monday. We chose the one day that Sarah couldn't commit, and it would have been fun.
because I was actually already playing a
Yeah,
TTRPG every other Monday with my
yeah. So it's
outside of nerdy.
but it's a fun game, Dragonheart. It's an interesting one. It's not what I expected it to be, but obviously it came out of Critical Role.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely not something that I've expected, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Hmm.
It's simpler, but I have to remember more. It's not quite as ADHD friendly in my brain as of yet, but I'm getting
Right.
there. I'm
Hmm.
getting there, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm loving playing with the people that I'm playing with.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I'm sure I'll get around to playing Daggerheart at some point. It's kind of like we've got two long-term campaigns going at the minute because we started off on Pathfinder.
Hmm.
Um, and I am currently the only surviving member of our party because Pathfinder is a bit harder than D&D, although it kind of just comes from a very similar place.
Yeah.
Um, I am the only surviving character, and only by the will of the GM.
Oh.
I literally died, and that would have been a TPK, total party kill.
Yeah.
But he decided that since I was the last to actually die, that I would just barely survive, so I could carry on the story when the new when the new characters came into it. Um,
Wow.
but
That's
we've had to get to a certain point and stop because our GM was actually in another campaign of this with his GM. So he couldn't run the story past where he was up to in his story without spoiling it for himself. So
oh yeah, yeah.
he was playing the game as he was GMing it for somebody else, but obviously had to stay like a chapter or two behind. So we put that one on hold and we've gone back to Cyberpunk 2077 at the minute, which is what we're playing.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Cyberpunk's had a really massive effect on me. Not so much this time around, but that's not a diss on me GM or anything like that. But it's his first time running Cyberpunk, so he's still getting a handle on it as well as a GM. But I've played it before with a slightly different group, and I have to give Daniel kudos. So yeah, massive, massive kudos. Daniel is an amazing GM, and the world of Cyberpunk that he had been running for over 10 years.
Wow.
Not with me, not with another group, but he kind of brought groups in to play a campaign in Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
but he would keep the world the same.
Yeah.
So any changes that, say, a group from 10 years ago made might still be seen by me playing it 10 years later.
That's amazing.
So, like, for example, one of the big bads in the group was we found out at a later date, like, that he was a hologram, and
Okay.
his body was actually in a coma in a bed behind him in the room.
Okay.
He was in this coma because of a previous group's actions.
I love that. That's amazing.
But the campaign, I'm not going to go in what it was about because it was an incredibly dark campaign.
Yeah.
It was an incredibly dark campaign. I mean, it's gonna stay up here for a very long time. Um, but yes, he's written his own books. Daniel has based around it, where he thought there was gaps, where he's like kind of created something within the world. He's done his own rules to go with it, but kind of like linked them into existing rules.
Yeah.
Um, oh God, I really enjoyed it, but he's had a lasting effect on me because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
And one thing involved um a little girl singing Billy Idol's White Wedding,
Oh.
and I can't listen to that song anymore.
Okay.
Um, it was intense. We'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
It was
I've
intense.
some moments are like that, but
Yeah.
are there any formats that you'd like to play? Any different sort of game systems that you'd like to play that you haven't so far?
Oh, it's kind of hard to like say what I haven't played too much of at the minute because it's kind of like we used to have a rule of three. If we
Okay.
weren't sure on a game, we would play it for 3 sessions, and if at the end of the third session we still weren't feeling it, we would move on to something new.
Yeah.
So I've tried a lot in my time. I mean, obviously, I would like to try the Critical Role things because I've not actually tried any of their stuff yet.
Yeah.
So Daggerheart will be on there. Um, I would like to do more of Dragon Age because, as we know, massive Dragon Age fan.
Did not
I
did not know that.
it's one of those lesser known facts about me.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, we recently played it, but again, I was the only one who was really getting into it.
Yeah.
So because I knew so much about the history of Thedas and things like that, I was advising people on what they should do, but I made that part of my character. My character was an old grizzled warrior who knew
Yeah.
what they were talking about. Um, but yeah, it was kind of like one of those things where not everybody really got it, so we ended up not going too far into it, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Um, but I would love to go back to Seven Seas. Um, that was a one that we got involved with the Kickstarter on. Um, it's kind of like an alternative reality Europe, and you choose
Okay.
whether you like England would be Avalon, I believe it is. I think Spain was Castile.
Yeah,
Um,
that tracks.
yeah, things like that. And there was a version of Germany, a version of France, and a version of Russia.
Okay.
Um, and there was all sorts you could be in that. You could be like a Scandinavian rune witch.
Okay.
There's the sailors, there's a shapeshifter assassin type of thing. Um, for some reason I've really clicked with that world, and the stories that I had for my characters are the most in depth in that world. Um I'd like to do that again.
Okay. See,
Um,
I've got a few that I want to go into because obviously I've only had experience in sort of Star Trek Adventures,
mhm, mhm.
Dragonheart, and D&D, and I really, really want to try um sort of Starfinder
Right.
because I've heard that it's D&D's sci-fi cousin and but it's space fantasy with magic and starships, and for anyone who knows me, I love magic and I love starships, and if I can bring magic into any of my games, my writing games,
Yeah.
I will somehow. And I've seen another one that I really, really want to try. Oh, what was it called? What's it called? Oh, Mothership. It's basically
Um,
horror in space. I've not seen much about it. I've not seen it mentioned in any places, but when I was like doing some research around it, um it kept coming up. And there was another one that I've seen. Oh, Monster Hearts.
all right. Yes.
Teen drama plus supernatural powers. So basically how it was described to me is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I
Okay.
was like, well, okay.
Oh, you've got to play
I've
that
got
then.
I've got to play that one. So yeah, they're the ones that I want to try, and I would love to delve into Star Trek Adventures a bit more.
Mm,
I've had a couple of sessions doing that, and I find that's quite an interesting one to go.
yeah.
But it's trying to find time
Yes.
to do all the things all at once.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I would love to actually get back into sort of just doing a proper D&D campaign, just doing like just solid D&D
Hmm.
where I found my roots. I would love to get back into that. But if anyone knows where there's some of those games, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'd be
I
eternally
wouldn't mind
grateful.
trying the Star Trek one, like.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I quite enjoyed it. Phoebes ran a session, and then one of my writing players called Cypher ran two sessions, and I got to play as Deanna Troy. No, was it Deanna Troy?
Oh,
I think I played as Deanna Troy.
that would make sense if you played Troy.
Yeah, I think I played Deanna Troy in one of them, and then I think the other session I was Sato from Enterprise because it was one
Yeah.
of the ones that you could play the characters of it from Star Trek.
Hmm.
And that was quite an interesting one. Yeah, it was good. But I think I would like to delve into it a little bit more maybe
Yeah.
if I found the right TM.
How do you feel about anthropomorphic games?
I don't know.
Humanoid animals.
I've not really. It's not something I've ever really delved into.
Mm,
Um, I wouldn't say no, but it's not something I've ever. I could just imagine it's like a druid.
yeah, it's kind of like there's a game that I played, but the name's escaping me right now.
Okay,
Typically, but it's I remember playing. I played a humanoid Gambian pouched rat engineer,
that's
not
amazing.
engineer, no, um, explosive expert.
That's amazing.
Um, and we had um, my friend Rachel played I can't remember what animal she was, but she was like she played the captain of the spaceship as like Zap Brannigan basically.
That's amazing.
Um, and we had a gorilla surgeon as our doctor.
That's so cool.
Um, and we had one of our evil people was a lady dragon with the huge bosom.
As she should.
As she should, yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we ended up having to kill her, and I shoved a grenade down her bosom.
Oh, that would be how she wants to go.
Um,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
also just remembered that Fallout of it also got a tabletop game.
They do.
I would love to play that.
I have tried it. Um, my one of my current group that comes around on Mondays wanted to try and be the GM, which we fully said yes, go ahead. But
Yeah,
he's not very experienced in it. He was a bit nervous. He didn't feel that it ran very well, so wanted to call it quits after the first game, which was fine. He said, "Well, we'll come back to it at a later date." So we have tried a basic Fallout, basically just us leaving the vault and getting to the nearest town and stuff.
As every good
Um,
Fallout story
but
starts.
that's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
But yes, yes. Um, I would like to give a shout out to a one called The Strange,
Okay.
um, which it can go many, many different ways, but it was the start of a lot of in-jokes in my previous gaming group. Um, Unfortunately, our previous group, one of the players slash GMs, he used to do both roles when we swapped games, is severely allergic to my cats, so he's
Oh.
unable to come to my house anymore. And that like took out him, took out his wife, and then kind of like they started a game at theirs, but because we had the twins, we couldn't then go and game at theirs.
Oh
So
no.
our group kind of split up. I mean, we're all still friends, but our group split up for various reasons, which it happens,
It
it
happens.
happens.
Yeah, 100% it
But we've
happens.
we've both progressed on to having groups that we are like playing with.
Yeah.
But yes, the strange. Um, we had the rule of the triangle for our previous start in that game. The rule of the triangle for us was you start in one place, you go somewhere else, you go to a third place, and then end up back where you started.
Okay.
And you repeat this several times
Right.
to the same places. I might add, it's not a different second point or third point. It is exactly the same three places that you go to each time. Um, and somehow we just ended up where we started without fail. Um, I liked how this one started because what Duncan did for this game was gave us a massive piece of paper as the players,
Yeah.
and he asked us to design our town.
Okay.
We're right. What do you want at the center of your town? And we decided for some wonderful reason that a solid gold statue of Stone Cold Steve Austin was
Gosh.
what we wanted in the center of this town. He used to be the mayor of the, that's our reasoning. And of course, the statue had to have the constantly present traffic cone on his head. Um, the rest of the town basically was a motel, a diner, and a water tower.
Oh gosh.
That was it. Hotel, motel, sorry, diner, water tower, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then just outside of the town, my character parked a Winnebago where I lived. I was a conspiracy theorist that had some pet geckos, and oh god, that was just like it was a crazy game. It was a
It
crazy game.
it sounds like it, but what's the concept behind it? Do I dare ask?
Uh, it's just investigating strange happenings basically, and they're all
Right.
kind of like interconnected.
Okay.
But like I said, you could have a complete adventure in the strange without actually finding anything
Yeah.
to do with the main story.
Yeah. Okay.
It just depends on how you play it. So, I mean, we didn't find anything to investigate for about 8 or 9 sessions.
Wow.
And these sessions were like 3, 4 hours each. So there was things there to keep us occupied
Yeah.
until we got to a certain point. And I'm not gonna say we did do a little bit of like player wandering off and stuff like that,
Yeah.
um but yeah, we had it's like going through portals, statues coming alive, massive hedgehogs,
That's cool.
spiny thorns coming alive, things like that.
That sounds quite fun actually.
Mhm. But
But
yeah,
yeah, I think that sounds fun. But
mhm.
thinking on it, I think we need to also talk about the women that are in the tabletop community because there have been some
Yes.
amazing women that have
Hmm.
come out of Critical Role, that have come out of Dimensions 20, LA by Night, what other ones are there that I'm trying to think of?
I mean, not even specific campaigns, just like people that were actresses that just turned out to be nerdy at
Yes,
that.
like, oh, what was her name?
Alicia Day,
Yeah, Felicia Day. She's one of my favourite, but who is the other one? Oh, Deborah Ann
Deborah
Woll.
Ann Wall. Deborah
Who
Ann Wall,
who
we all know I love her.
I need to make an imitate because I 100% thought her surname was Wolf, not Wall.
Ah,
And I have for obviously since what was she in?
True Blood.
True Blood. I've 100%
And
thought
she
it
was
was
in
that.
Daredevil.
Yeah, 100% thought her surname was Wolf.
Yeah.
But I
But
did not realize that she is such an amazing DM.
mhm.
Like she runs games on like streams like
She's
Relics and
wrote a few.
Rarities, and I'm just amazed.
Yeah, yeah. She's currently running one that is of her own build. She's
Wow.
she built her own. She's wrote the story. She's running one. I can't remember the name of it. Oh my God. Oh, I can't remember the name of it right now. But yes, one thing I really loved about Deborah Ann Wall was there's a clip of when she was recording a podcast and she had John Bernthal on, who played the Punisher.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously she knew him from her time on Daredevil and the Punisher, Marvel shows, and he didn't have a clue about D&D, and she explained it to him, and she said like, "Come on, then we'll try like a little D&D now." So she like described a 2-minute story to him, said, "What do you want to do? You're like, what kind of character have you got?" Right, okay, you wander out, you go down the road in the woods, you see this, what you gonna do? And then she was explaining the rolls to him, and she's like, right, you roll a 20-sided dice, you get a 13 or something. Now, because you're a ranger, I would expect your dexterity to be quite high, so that would be, we'll say, +4.
Yeah.
So that would give you this, which means you're likely to succeed on it. And then she would do him another roll where, like, he failed it because obviously rangers only have certain skills.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not necessarily as strong as like a warrior or something. So, and he seemed really into it. So
Yeah.
I can't remember if he'd actually gone and played a game, but
I don't know, but obviously I keep anytime I think of D&D players, I think of the women from Critical Role, like
yeah,
Aberia, Marisha, I'm trying to think of who else.
Ashley,
Ashley. How can I forget
yeah,
Ashley when she's
come on.
how can I forget Ashley? I'm sorry, Ashley. I forgot you for a second because obviously she is in The Last of Us.
hmm
And obviously she's from that, and I just think these are phenomenal actresses, and just the fact that they started all of this and it's become such a massive, absolute massive thing. It's just
hmm
it's fascinating. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
fascinating. I don't think D&D would be as popular as it is without Critical Role.
Certainly not in the recent years.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I would say even like, when you've got the animated series, Vox Machina
Yes, I
on
love that.
Amazon, you can watch that quite happily as just an adventure story of a group of friends
Yeah.
without knowing anything about D&D,
Yeah.
without knowing anything about Critical Role.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not gonna lie, I've actually used it to catch up on at least several plot points because I am very, 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 very behind. Like I'm still on like the first campaign and I've used it to catch up
yeah.
because there is so much. But these campaigns are amazing, and I am so glad that Matt Mercer is actually taking a time out. He's not going to be involved in the next campaign. I'm excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah. I would like to see him play again at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Been a long time since he played.
But just the people that are in it, some of the actresses and the players, they are absolutely just amazing. And I'm trying to think of the lady that I'm absolutely in love with because she just makes me laugh every single time. When she plays. I'm trying to
Mm.
think. Laura Bailey, that's it. I love
Laura,
I
yeah.
love Laura, and like some of her characters are amazing. I love how we did not know these people because a lot of these people were voice actors, and
Yeah.
it literally was them just randomly playing, and it's become this massive thing, and I love it, and the fact that there are so many women on these shows just showing off, and I love it, and I'm excited, and
Yeah.
I'm also excited to see what the next campaign's going to be like because that's going to be interesting because it's going to be like a whole new world.
hmm
It's going to
hmm
be.
And of course, in the show, I wanted to point out one of my favorite action ladies. Gina Torres was a voice in Vox Machina as
Yes,
well.
yes,
Um, So yes, everybody's getting involved in it. You can't be around like and just it's very hard to exist in the world today and be on the internet and have not heard about D&D and things like that.
No. I think yeah, it's definitely a hard one, but
Hmm.
I also kind of we asked the people of Nerdy Up North sort of what their favourite sort of campaigns are, and I love the some of the people that have given me some of the answers. Um, on Instagram, Dadaskram 92 was like basic stuff. I know, but D&D is and always has been my favourite. Genuine emotional connection to my characters, and then you've got Helen, who's put, I've only played D&D, so I can't judge, but I love playing and miss it badly. Life has been too hectic to indulge.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look at the other ones. So we've had Paul Griffin, who's put loving Star Trek Adventures at the moment. First edition was great, but second edition is amazing. Such a great rule set and so many fantastic features. I completely agree with you, Paul. And then there's a gentleman called Michael is going, I don't know if it counts, but Hero Quest is amazing along with Warhammer Quest boxes. I don't know, but I love your enthusiasm.
They count. They
Yeah,
count.
we count it. And then Neil has put Rollmaster, and that is one that I've actually not heard of. So I don't know. Have you
Which
ever
one,
heard of
sorry?
Rollmaster?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
I've not heard of that one, but I'm loving the fact that when we brought up this question, so many different people were like, "Oh, okay, I like this one. I like this one." Yeah, I'm enjoying
Yeah.
that.
I'm just making a note of that. I might look it up later.
Yeah, but have we got
But yeah,
anything else?
that's the thing though, like just going off that, there are so many different ones out there. There is going to be something for like most people. You don't have to go into D&D. You could be um I mean, oh God, anything really. I've wrote on here, I've been a conspiracy theory crazy Winnebago dwelling alien abductee. I've been a tabaxi cat person, druid who brewed his own beer. I've been a water elf wizard who just wanted to learn to shapeshift into a dragon. I've been a runic ship captain using weather to her advantage. A big expert driver nomad who John Wicked a group of bad guys for killing her dog. I've
Oh,
been that was that cyberpunk
yeah,
edition of Daniel. I went John Wick on someone. I've been a tribal medicine woman who healed people by tattooing them.
that's amazing.
I've been an old war vet who lived in the wild with fantastic survival skills, but then blew up a nuclear bomb because, in his thought process, saving the world from an alien invasion by blowing up a portal. To destroy the portal was the aim, all for the greatest good. And there's many other things. I've mentioned the Gambian pouched rat. I've mentioned the gnome wizard. There are so many different things. That's just from about four different games. That
Yeah,
all of those just from about four different games. Um, there's so many worlds to explore. There's so many lives to be. You could live out any story, make it your own story, kind of thing.
yeah,
Mm. I highly encourage, like even if you don't have to do the dice side of it. You could just talk your way through it. There's TTRPGs for one person. You don't even need a GM.
yeah,
If you want to just try something out, you find a one person one and you can work through the campaign yourself.
yeah.
So, you know.
And there
Um,
are there are just so many different ones. I've got a fairy tale one to try with my little girl.
mhm,
So that should be an interesting one. But I
yeah.
think I think anyone who is wanting to get involved, don't be afraid because I put it off for so long and I am living my best life with it.
Mhm, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's just so much you can do with them. And although I'm not always that confident in things, you kind of relax into it. Um, you just get to that point and you go, right. Don't get me wrong, I've been in a lot of campaigns where every character fought against each other.
Yeah.
I've been in those campaigns where one character is so determined that my character is going to be the arsehole and they will do it the entire way through. And you try not to take it personally. You likelihood is you're playing with a friend. that friend is still your friend.
Yeah.
They are just taking it to the extreme what they are playing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to do something completely different,
Yeah.
and you've got to just run with it.
Yeah, yeah. I've been at tables where it's got very frustrating because
Yes,
you are with a bunch of murder hobos, and
yes,
I don't enjoy that player style. I very much don't enjoy that player style, and people who do, that's fine. But I probably wouldn't stay at a table that continuously acted like that.
yes.
It's definitely a different one. But is there any other ones that you want to talk about before we finish?
Oh, there's loads of stories I've got, but I'd probably be here for another hour talking about them.
Maybe you could do some shorts on them.
Maybe. Oh God. No, I don't think there's anything that I need to get in here for now.
Okay. Do you want to talk about what the other podcasts are up to and what other things we've got going on?
Well, hmm. How about first of all, if you would like to share your favorite TTRPGs out there or share a story from one of your games, leave us a comment below or give us a comment on Instagram or something like that. Um, for more nerdy goodness, you could check out the Nerdy Up North Facebook group. Maybe start a conversation in there about your favorite TTRPGs. Um, we've been getting everybody involved over there with doing top fives at the minute. So
Mm-hmm.
at the time of recording, we've just done top five 80s movies.
Yes.
I don't think I shocked anybody with my choices.
I
Um,
don't think I shocked anyone with mine either, to be fair.
no.
No. That's okay. People
I
know what to expect from us. That's okay.
yes, I'm more shocked that there aren't more people saying labyrinth, to be honest, but never mind.
Me too.
Um,
I think people are scared to say what they really feel. They're trying to be unique. It's okay. We know Labyrinth is one of the best films of the 80s. It's fine.
but there are still a kind of few top fives to come. We've got quite a lot planned for those ones coming up. So keep an eye out and just message in for any that you want to take part in. No pressure. We will be back in a fortnight and every fortnight after that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got lots of variety and topics across the many different podcasts under the Nerdy Up North umbrella. You know, we've got Monsters, we've got Anime Club, there's Rumblecast. It's best to check the socials on Instagram or Facebook to see what they're talking about in the upcoming weeks, though, because things have changed a little bit over the last few weeks. But anyway, that's our chat on TTRPGs. I could go on for a lot longer, but I'm going to save you that. I think it's time to sign off, Becky.
Okay, so keep your hearts full and your fandoms fierce, and we will catch you in 2 weeks' time. Bye bye.
Bye.